The sun was sinking low over Denver, painting the city's skyline in strokes of bronze and steel, when a black SUV glided into the entrance of the Renaissance Ridge Hotel. The tires crunched softly against the gravel as the vehicle came to a stop beneath the towering glass awning. The valet didn't rush. There was no urgent energy about the arrival, just a quiet weight that settled into the moment. Out stepped Helena Brooks. She was 45, a black woman whose presence was not loud, but impossible to ignore. Her style wasn't flashy, just timeless. A pair of worn brown leather loafers, a tailored navy blazer over a cream knit sweater, dark jeans, and a scuffed canvas tote slung over one shoulder. No designer logos. No assistant clinging to her side. Just a woman who looked like she'd built something with her bare hands and came now to visit what she owned. Helena was the CEO, the founder, the visionary behind the Ridge Hotel chain, and this Renaissance Ridge, Denver, was hers. She wasn't here for applause. She wanted a quiet evening, a real bed, and maybe a hot shower before a last-minute board meeting the next morning. But the universe had other plans. Inside, the lobby shimmered under soft light. Gold accents curved around marble pillars, and the gentle clink of wine glasses mingled with quiet conversations. Business travelers lounged on velvet sofas. A couple took selfies near a sculpture wall. Helena moved with quiet confidence across the floor to the front desk. Behind it stood a young woman in early 20s, maybe wearing a name tag that read Taylor Monroe. Her bun was messy, nails chipped, and the glow from the computer screen illuminated her distracted face. Checking in. Brooks, Helena said calmly. Taylor didn't glance up right away. Her fingers hovered over the keyboard, as if she were annoyed by the interruption. Then, finally, she peered at the screen. Her tone stayed polite, but distant. "I'm sorry, Mom. We're fully booked tonight. Reservation confirmations only." Helena's smile didn't flinch. "There's always a suite held for me." Taylor raised her eyebrows and smirked, clearly unimpressed. "Not tonight." Helena remained still. "This is Renaissance Ridge, yes?" Taylor's smirk turned into a faint laugh. "It is. Then my name is literally on the deed." A pause. The desk agent blinked, then gave a short scoff of disbelief. "You're saying you own this hotel?" Several heads in the lobby turned, drawn to the rising tension. A man at the bar looked over his glass. A couple in matching hiking gear fell silent mid-conversation. Helena felt the prickle of doubt in their eyes. It wasn't the first time. It likely wouldn't be the last. "Call your manager," she said evenly, as if asking for extra towels. Taylor narrowed her eyes, but reached for the phone. A few minutes later, a man in his late 30s stepped out from a side office, adjusting his tie like it was a nervous tic. He carried a clipboard and a forced smile. "Good evening. I'm the manager on duty. I am Aaron Petel. Is there a problem with your reservation?" "No problem," Helena replied with quiet authority. "I am Helena Brooks. I own this property." Aaron faltered mid-step, caught between confusion and disbelief. The lobby grew quieter. A bellhop froze beside a luggage cart. Two security guards subtly emerged from the corners of the room, one by the doors, one near the espresso bar. Aaron glanced at Taylor, who now looked less smug and more confused. "We'll need to verify that," he said, his clipboard trembling slightly. Helena said nothing. She simply reached in her tote, pulled out her phone, and made a quick call. 20 seconds, tops. "This is Brooks. I'm at the Denver property. I've been denied access. Fix it." She ended the call and placed the phone back in her bag. No raised voice. No threat. Just steel beneath silk. The seconds ticked by. Guests whispered. A teenager near the fireplace subtly aimed her phone camera toward the scene. Taylor stared at the screen in front of her, as if it might suddenly confirm what she had just learned. Aaron stammered again. "We're just following protocol. Of course you understand." Helena didn't respond. She simply waited. Her poise didn't crack. She had learned long ago the power of silence, the way it could unravel the facade of those who assumed authority belonged to someone else. Then the elevator chimed. Out stepped two men in suits. Marcus Lang, regional vice president, and Julian Vega, district director. They looked like they'd been yanked from dinner. Lang's suit was immaculate, while Vega's shirt was creased and sweat-beaded. They walked fast, not toward the desk, but straight to Helena. "Ms. Brooks," Lang began, his voice clipped and urgent. "We are deeply sorry. This is completely unacceptable. Suite 1701 is ready. Your usual car is outside. Breakfast setup is in place," Vega added quickly, not bothering to acknowledge Aaron or Taylor. Aaron stumbled forward, trying to hand over a folder. "We were just about to." "Don't." Lang cut him off with a glare that left no room for redemption. Taylor's face drained of color. She no longer looked confident, just exposed. Helena finally broke her silence with a faint smirk. "One phone call," she said. "That's all it took." Lang nodded, already on the phone, issuing orders. Vega was typing furiously on his tablet. The guard stepped back. The teenager with the camera whispered, "She owns it," to her friend. The bar guests murmured, stunned. "No bloating." Helena didn't need it. She simply turned to the elevator, her key card already in hand. "Send someone to check the suite," she said without looking back. Immediately, Vega answered. The elevator doors slid shut, and as they did, the lobby exhaled. Upstairs, Suite 1701 was pristine. Floor-to-ceiling windows looked out over the twinkling city. A tray of food sat waiting: avocado toast, black coffee, and a handwritten apology note from the kitchen. Helena placed her tote gently on the armchair, then removed her shoes and sank into the leather couch. This place was hers. All of it. But the quiet didn't bring peace-only memories. 20 years ago, in Chicago, she'd worn a borrowed suit and carried binders for a man who didn't know her name. A hotel clerk had once mistaken her for janitorial staff. She'd laughed it off, but the sting had lasted. Now she had 15 properties and a reputation that spanned coasts. And yet she still had to prove herself. Her phone buzzed. A message from her assistant. "Audit team deployed. Media statement ready if you want to go public." Helena paused. She could easily blow this story wide open. Social media would explode. But that wasn't her mission. This wasn't about headlines. It was about change. The next morning, Helena returned to the lobby at 7 a.m. Sharp. She wore a charcoal gray suit and carried herself like gravity. Her heels echoed with precision across the marble floor. In a glass conference room, just off the concierge desk, several staff waited. Aaron sat sweating in a too-tight collar. Taylor stared at her lap. HR was present, along with Lang and Vega. Helena stood at the head of the table. "Let's hear it," she said coolly. "Walk me through what happened." Taylor stuttered, eyes watery. "I didn't think you were." Helena finished the sentence. "Didn't think I looked like the owner?" Taylor nodded slowly. "Was I rude?" Helena asked. "No," Taylor said, voice small. "Did I threaten you?" "No." "Then what was the problem?" No one answered. "I built this brand from the ground up," Helena said. "Not for applause. For equity. For representation. So why am I still invisible in my own lobby?" Lang and Vega listed immediate changes: disciplinary action, retraining, updated protocols, but Helena raised a hand. "This isn't about box checking," she said. "I want people who see others, who respect everyone. I don't need robots quoting policy. I need awareness." She let that settle before turning away. Make it real or make room. Later that morning, she found Taylor alone in the break room. Eyes red, hands trembling. "You're not being fired," Helena said, her voice softer now. "But tell me something." Taylor nodded. "Have you ever felt invisible at work?" Taylor nodded again, tears threatening. "Yeah. I worked a gas station off I-70. No one looked at me twice." "So, you know the feeling?" Taylor whispered. "I just assumed." Helena stopped her gently. "Assumptions are costly. You assumed I couldn't own this place. That's the part that needs to change." Taylor murmured an apology. "I don't need your sorry," Helena replied. "I need your growth." And with that, she left her with a chance to do better. By noon, the hotel hummed with its usual rhythm. But behind the scenes, everything had shifted. Helena sat with HR, reviewing files. Plans for new training. Surprise évaluation. Empathy screenings for all hires. We don't script respect, she told them. We show it. Later, she left the hotel, Sophie's handwritten note tucked in her bag. Thank you for seeing me. I'll do better. As her car pulled onto the snowy Denver highway, Helena held that note quietly. 15 hotels down. Many more to go. She wasn't done. Not even close. As the city of Denver shrank behind her through the tinted rear window, Helena Brooks remained silent in the back seat of the car. Her mind wasn't on the upcoming board meeting or the quarterly earnings forecast. It was on something more rooted, something more difficult to measure. The note from Taylor Simple, shaky handwriting scrawled on a notepad from the break room, rested on her lap. Thank you for seeing me. I'll do better. That wasn't corporate language. That was human. Raw. And as much as Helena had faced in her RISA microaggressions, dressed in politeness, boardroom snubs, investors who spoke around her, but never to her, it was moments like this that reminded her why she'd built the Ridge brand in the first place. Respect wasn't given in hospitality just because you could afford a room. Respect, to her, was foundational, and it had to start inside the walls she built. As they neared the airport, her driver glanced at her through the rearview mirror. "Ms. Brooks," he said hesitantly. "I just wanted to say I saw the video online last night." From the hotel, Helena looked up. He cleared his throat. "I've worked valet for 12 years, ma'am. Seen a lot. What you did, the way you handled it. That meant something." She gave him a small nod. "Thank you." "No, thank you," he said, a little firmer now, before pulling into the private terminal. "My niece just got her first job in hospitality. I sent her the clip this morning." So that gone viral. Helena let out a slow breath as she stepped out, the cold air hitting her skin. She hadn't intended it to spread. She didn't need the world to applaud. But if it helped someone feel seen or helped someone see, then maybe it was worth it. Inside the jet lounge, her executive assistant, Rachel, was already waiting with coffee in hand and a tablet open. "Media's all over it," Rachel said as she handed her the drink. "But you came off like a damn legend." "I wasn't trying to come off as anything," Helena replied, sipping. "I just wanted a room." Rachel smiled faintly. "Well, you got a movement." Helena shook her head, a tired chuckle escaping her lips. "It shouldn't have to be a movement, Ratch. It should be policy. It should be normal." "I know," Rachel said. "But until it is, I guess you're leading the charge." They boarded the company jet together, the sky already softening into early afternoon haze. As the engines roared to life and the ground slipped away beneath them, Helena sat by the window, one hand on her tablet, the other still gently holding that note. She tapped her assistant's shoulder. "We're adding a new program." Rachel turned. "Which one?" "Entry-level mentoring," Helena said. "For the desk clerks, housekeepers, night staff. Anyone who wants it. I'll rotate through every property this year, quiet visits. Not just VP flybys. I want to hear the frontline stories." Rachel blinked. "You're going to visit all 15. 16, Helena corrected. "I just closed on a new one in Savannah this week." Rachel grinned. "Of course you did." Helena's eyes stayed focused on the clouds. "And I want our training to include real-life bias case studies. Not just PowerPoints. The desk clerks should be taught what respect feels like, not just what it looks like on paper." "Got it," Rachel said, already typing. And Rachel, "Yeah. If I ever forget what that lobby felt like, remind me." Rachel looked up. "You mean the disrespect?" Helena shook her head. "No. The silence after I spoke. The shift. That moment when the room realized who I was. That's when we have their attention. That's when change happens." The flight continued quietly. Helena opened a folder filled with new employee interviews, scanning notes scribbled by the hiring team. She circled 3 names, 2 from the maintenance crew and 1 from housekeeping. Each of them had answered the final question the same way. "What does hospitality mean to you?" Making someone feel like they belong even if they don't look like they do. She smiled faintly. That's the future. By the time the plane landed in Chicago, Helena had already scheduled a private video call with the entire staff of Renaissance Ridge Denver. No intermediaries. No PR filters. She wanted to speak directly to them about the culture they inherited and the one they were now responsible for shaping. That evening, In the executive suite of her Chicago headquarters, Helena sat at her desk in a gray hoodie and leggings, barefoot, hair tied back. The call connected. Faces appeared. Receptionists, bellhops, valets, kitchen crew. Some curious, some nervous. She leaned forward. "You all know what happened in Denver," she began, her voice even. "I'm not here to rehash it. I'm here because this brand is mine, but it's also yours. Every single one of you keeps it standing." The call was silent. Dozens of eyes on her. "I'm not asking for perfection," she continued. "I'm asking for awareness, for humility, for respect. Because no Onino guest, no worker should have to prove they deserve to be treated like a human being." She paused. "There's a reason I built this brand from scratch. I was tired of being ignored, minimized, mistaken. I wanted to create spaces where people could show up as themselves and be welcomed. That has to start with all of you." A beat passed. "I'm rolling out empathy programs, shadow days, mentorships. I'll be checking in randomly, face to face. Not to catch anyone, just to connect. Because connection is how we lead." The call ended with a quiet chorus of nods and murmured thank yous. Helena closed her laptop, her reflection faintly visible in the black screen. She was tired, but also energized in that slow-burning, marrow-deep way only purpose can provide. Outside, Chicago's streets glittered with rain-soaked lights. Helena walked to the window, the wind faint against the glass. Behind her, the office was quiet. 15 hotels had been built on her back. The 16th would rise next month. More would come, and she would be there, not just to own the name on the building, but to remind everyone inside what that name meant. She wasn't done, not even close.